Okay, so after that long introduction with bears and cubs, grizzly bear and 2 cubs, so 3 grizzly bears, that all happened about, what time is it? 5, 6, well, that all happened about 11 hours ago. So, it's way later in the day now. That was all happening right before sunrise, and I'm back out in the woods here. So the stuff you just saw from this morning was a bear called Blondie, one of our super famous, awesome roadside bears that we have here in Grand Teton National Park. And she has 2 cubs that were born the previous winter, so they're a little over a year old now. They're very small for being yearlings, but they look super healthy, and they're playful, and she seems to be doing great. And I got out early this morning. I wasn't vlogging, shooting video this morning. I did shoot a few videos with my DSLR. I was shooting with the Nikon D850 and 200 to 500 millimeter lens this morning. I had to crank the ISO way up, like 3200, 6400 ISO, to be able to get enough shutter speed to get some sharp photos of those bears. And that was a fun little morning. So it turned into a bear jam. I stumbled upon those bears roadside before sunrise, and then a bear jam ensued. And that's where you saw like the traffic cones and all that kind of stuff. And I was able to stay in my vehicle and photograph the bears. And everything was cool, everything was safe. I made some decent photos of the bears, even though it's dark. You know, it's hard doing that in the dark, but I think I got some pretty good photos of them. Went back to town, got some work done, and now I came back out this afternoon to check on a couple of nests. So right now, I just walked up to a goshawk nest that was active last year. And the snow is just melting out here. There's still patches of snow. And so I'm just coming into this nest for the first time. So the goshawks should be on their nests, and the great gray owls should also be on their nests. So I'm going to use this afternoon as some time to go cruise around in the woods and check a couple of different nests. historical nests that I know about, because I don't know if any of them are active this year or not. And as I just kind of cruised up here and I took a picture with D850 and the Sigma 100 to 400 millimeter lens, and looking up at the nest here, I could see something. I could see little feathers around the nest with the binoculars. So I was pretty confident that this nest was active, but I confirmed it when I took a photo with this and was able to zoom in 1-to-1, and I can see a tail feather sticking up out of the nest, which is certainly the female goshawk. I would guess the chicks are hatched because there's little tiny downy feathers around in the nest, and she must be still keeping them warm. There's a big storm rolling in. There's been some thunder, and I'm about to get rained on. So for today, that'll be it for my photography here. Just a picture or two to confirm that the nest is active, and then I'll come back in another probably 10 days to 2 weeks and check on them and see if the little chicks are up, visible. And hopefully I'll be able to follow this family around a little bit this spring. Hopefully they kind of let me into the forest with them, and maybe I'll get some cool goshawk photos. I don't have much luck with goshawks, but maybe this is my year. So that's what's going on today. Next, I'm going to go move around and go to some other locations and look for some active great gray owl nests. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I get lucky. But I'm psyched to see that this nest is active. And hopefully the chicks fledge and they all let me into their world a little bit in the woods here. All right, kind of bad news on the great gray owl nest front. Just checked a historic great gray owl nest, and it's not active. No birds there. Bummer. It's extra bummer because last year, like, no great gray owls in the entire valley nested because it was such a hard winter on them. A bunch of them died and they just didn't have the energy to nest. So I was hoping that this year, like, all of the remaining great gray owls would go for a nest, and so far it's not looking good for that. So I've checked two nests that I know of so far, and nothing there at either of them. So that's a big time bummer. Well, maybe that's my sign to get out of the forest, but in the meantime, looks like I found a phone that spent the winter out here. I'll see if I can bring it back to life when I get home. It's in rough shape. But that is weird because I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's like no established trails nearby. I'm probably at least 1.5 miles from the nearest road. Just random person out here dropped their phone, apparently. Very strange. And it's been there for a while. So I'm sure they've gotten a new phone by now, but I'll try and resurrect it anyways. Shit you find in the woods when looking for owls. Yeah, that thunder's getting a little menacing. I'm gonna head back to the car. I better put this camera away before I ruin it. I've already ruined one camera this month. That was in the sand dune, but I can't afford to lose two of them. So that's it. Have a good day. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Please subscribe to the channel if you like it. And I'll see you next time. Later.